Hey, before we get started, we have so many new listeners that may not know about the larger intentional success community. If you want to meet and network with a great bunch of folks that are open to sharing new ideas, and you want to learn more about how to apply my business model for live event production companies, then join us at Jumpstart Your Sales Engine in Atlanta, April 3rd and 4th. We're going to focus on the selling side of your business so you can grow, make more money, and have a lot more fun. Learn more at trstimson.com/jumpstart. In today's podcast, I'm eliminating another word from our tired vocabulary of self appeasing business practices. Welcome to the Intentional Success Podcast, where we unpack the top strategies, explore business trends, and drill down into best practices to help your live events production business grow and scale on purpose. I'm your host, Tom Stimson. Look, just because we are in a seasonal industry doesn't mean all work stops several times a year. That's not what seasonal actually means, right? I mean, you can walk into any major hotel or convention center any time of the year and see a flurry of activity. Like I said, any time of the year. There is no shortage of work for those that sell intentionally. Now, that doesn't mean that sometimes there's not as much work to go around, which is a decrease in demand. So let's don't conflate lowering demand with actually true seasonality, right? Here's the thing. If you rely on accidental sales, that is, word of mouth, your past customers remembering you exist, just luck of the draw on the internet, you might be fortunate enough to grab some of that 2-week lead time work that everyone loves. Look, let's see this in action. So we start the year out. Great January, February. Then suddenly we realize we don't have a lot going on in March. And then things start to kick back again in mid April. So we're not worried. We have a busy May, June. Everything's fine, right? Is that the result of seasonality? Or is that because sales got too caught up in getting their job service that no one made any effort to keep the run going? Seasonality means that demand rises and falls. It doesn't mean that demand stops. It just means that companies that do good work and focus on sales year round get to stay busy. So, how do these companies fill their calendar? It's easy. Look, they never stop writing quotes, they never stop talking to prospects. They're always nurturing leads. They host events for their clients and prospects even when the show calendar is busy. In other words, marketing doesn't stop because the equipment in their warehouse is out for a couple of weeks. These companies take the time to cultivate leads, even if they might have to later turn down that job. Right? Oh, they've got a job in July. We're going to be real busy that 2 weeks. Look, the better question is, why do so many companies stop selling? And there's three main reasons, right? It's usually because the sales support system of technical advisors, production managers, department heads, project managers are all tied up on current shows. And if I can't get technical support, I just stop working. I quit bidding on shows. We're too busy. I don't even explore the opportunities. Oh, well, we're really busy. I don't know if I can get you a quote out this week. Um, if the operations team is so bogged down in this month's jobs, if they extend that sense of busy forward, how far forward do they do it? I find it's like an average of 3 or 4 weeks, right? They say things like, well, when we get through February, we just need a breather. We can afford to take March off. We have plenty to do in April and May. And the thing is, they really say that out loud, and it should frost you, right? The good news is we might do some business in March, at least until our April, May clients want our attention, in which case we'll stop selling because we're going to be really busy. But it's because sales and marketing only gets attention when the company is slow that we get seasonal returns, right? The goal is to merely survive instead of thrive in those companies, right? And how do we fix it? That's the right question. How do we fix this? Well, like many things, I'm going to recommend we stop using the word seasonal, just drop it from our business terms, right? Demand may be seasonal. That doesn't mean that we need to be, right? Uh, People sell ice cream year round. People buy ice cream in the winter, right? Demand may be lower, okay, but it never goes away, right? We can be busy year round if you define your roles and responsibilities correctly. Now, my book Balance lays out this model. It's the model for selling and planning year round. It advises us to stop using words sales and operations because these are tactical approaches to a strategic opportunity. Selling is strategic, planning is strategic, right? We're using the wrong words. We're downplaying the value of what we do. We're conveying it to our customers and it's bouncing back and we're hitting it ourselves with it. And we just say, well, it's too late to be busy in March. Well, yeah, it might be too late now to be busy in March, but 90 days ago, you had plenty of time to be busy in March. You were just using the wrong systems and processes, and all the people who should have been solving the March problem were busy doing January, February work. Selling is bigger than sales. It is so much bigger, right? Selling is not just account management, it's marketing, it's business development, it's design, it's estimating, it's solutions generation, it's customer cultivation. Eventually, we'll get down to writing a proposal and closing a deal and helping the client realize their vision. But all that other stuff goes on all the time. It's just not the transaction we're focusing on. We want the whole deal. And this is exactly what we're going to dive into at my next Jumpstart workshop in Atlanta, April 3rd and 4th, right? What does it take to eliminate seasonality from your business mindset? Okay, nonstop marketing, nonstop business development. Always be able to have design and innovation conversations with every prospect, expert budgeting year round, proposal writing year round, and of course, account management. You need a team that does this, right? If you've got 8 people in operations and 3 of them are project managers, and you've got 2 salespeople, you've got the wrong numbers. You've got the headcounts in the wrong places. If we would put more technical support into selling, okay, we'd put more support for future cut business into selling. We would need less people working in delivery and operations because the jobs would be sold so much better, right? You need to run your business as well as run your shows. I get that. We are in the business of getting shows done. We are not in the business of doing shows. Anyone can do shows. Doing shows is tactical. Getting shows done is strategic. And you may have control over who does the show, but you're still getting the show done, right? So when you come to Jumpstart, I'm going to do a keynote on demand and balance. Demand is the marketing side of selling. Balance is the business side of selling. Our friend Carl Becker is going to be back with the art of nurturing and intake in sales. In other words, we're leaving a lot of information on the table when we bring on a new client. You need to understand how to do that better, right? We're going to have interactive workshops. We're going to talk about how to write a practical scope of work. We're going to talk about the right way to use CRM. CRM has a million features. What are the 10 that are most valuable for what you do in your industry? And we're going to talk about how to measure sales success. Business leaders use metrics to stay on top. What are they, right? And it is not, spoiler alert, it is not revenue. Revenue is a useless number because anybody can get revenue, but the right revenue requires the right conversations with the right people. Maybe that's something we should start measuring. Look, Jumpstart's a great chance to meet other folks from my community, including dozens of current and past clients, including Intentional Success Club members, which is our peer group system. So if you're interested in this, register for this and the future Jumpstart events later on in the year at trstimson.com/jumpstart. Now, back to solving that unexpectedly slow month. Slow months tell you that demand is going to be down, okay? And they tell you that 90 days ahead of time. Even if you're seeing 2 and 4 week lead times, the information about a slow period, and it may not be a calendar month, it may be a 3-week period that overlaps month, it still matters. When you see a slack period, you have 3 choices. 1, You can accept it and schedule around it. Your fiscal budget will tell you if this is even an option. Did you plan on some downtime? Are you hitting all your revenue numbers? Are you making your goals? Then great. Keep doing what you're doing. You're probably doing all the right stuff on the selling side. And this is just one of those timing anomalies, right? But you could schedule maybe a major marketing event during that period. Contact all your best customers and invite them to a ball game or develop a think tank or give them a solutions demo. There's lots of things that you could do to take advantage of this period where the rest of your team is not as busy. The second thing you could do is kick outreach into gear immediately. 90 days out is not too late to remind your customers and their agents that March is busy, but there's still time to make the most of their budget and avoid last minute charges if they'll start sharing information about their job now. Why not? What do you got to lose, right? Oh, we don't have a job in March. Great. Tell me about your next job. There's no downside if you actually get a conversation with a customer or potential customer. So that's what outreach is all about. We got to talk to them, folks. The third thing you can do is you can chase RFPs, right? You can shoot out a bunch of emails saying, hey, seeing if you have any upcoming events we can quote on, which is like, hey, I'm going to sharpen my pencil, right? Those conversations. Contact all your RFP sources. You know who they are. Show them your hand. Hey, we will bid on work in March. But if you're already an RFP driven company, if you're already in a business segment that is driven by RFPs, and you have a slow period coming up in your 90-day window, then contact all the end customers on your list and try and stir up some direct work. Hey, our team's going to be available. I know you've always had this project in March. We've not been able to do it for you in the past. Maybe it's time to make you part of the family, right? You've got to do something. Someone has to do outreach for your company, and they have to do it year round, right? When that part of the team stops working, okay, or gets bogged down in delivery, sales will suffer, and you will have unexpectedly slow months or slow periods when everyone else is busy. And it is not an indication that you are seasonal. It's an indication that you kind of dropped the ball, right? So stop blaming the industry for seasonality when you are the one who's acting seasonal. Thanks for listening. If you want to find out more about today's episode, go to trstimpson.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes, related links, and tons of other valuable resources. If you haven't already subscribed to the Intentional Success Podcast, please do so, and I'd greatly appreciate if you would rate and review the show. Also, if you think you might be a good fit to work together or want more information about the Stimson Group, I'd love to hear from you. Visit trstimpson.com for more information.